Cooper Flagg made his first visit to Dallas. We're under a week to go for the NBA draft. But what is the next steps for Cooper, and what relationship is the most important for him? On today's weekend version of Locked On Mavs.
Stop it! Let's go! Stop! The number one pick will go to the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flagg will fly in Dallas.
Dogs, all of us, all five.
You are Locked On Mavs, your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave.
Your team every day.
I'm gonna get a city like that.
You are locked on the Dallas Mavericks. This is one of your co-hosts, Isaac Harris, doing this show alongside my good friend Nick, covering the Mavs for the last 10 years. And guys, we're dashing to the NBA draft. The NBA draft coming up on Wednesday, where the Dallas Mavericks have the number one overall pick. Say it with me. They have the number one overall pick, to where they're going to take Cooper Flagg. Guys, we have done these dashes before in the past, whether it's a trade deadline or through the playoffs or in big moments in franchise history, as we've done this show over the last 8 years. And this is one of those dashes right now. We're doing a podcast every single day leading up to the NBA draft on Wednesday. And then we're going to have all these shows afterwards and all this stuff. And guys, we have some great draft coverage coming on that Wednesday night. So you're listening to Locked On Mavs. You should be listening to Locked On NBA Big Board, because it's draft season, and this is the time to shine for those guys over there talking about the draft. But I want to talk about Cooper Flagg today. Shocker. Haven't talked about Cooper in a while. But I want to talk about him. I want to talk about his next steps. I did a Q&A today on our Subtext. And Subtext is our kind of Locked On Mavs Insider program, to where you can send in text and stuff, and we do different things through that program. And did a Q&A, took a lot of questions, answered them on through that program. But also, one of the questions today was like, hey, what are you most excited about for draft night? And also, someone asked me, what's the most important relationship for Cooper Flagg to have right now? And that got me thinking. I went back and forth on a bunch of different options. So I want to walk through. He came to Dallas. We know that. He had some steak. Guys, you are not going to bully me on my steak takes, all right? Medium well, that's how I like my steak. I like to actually cook my steak. I don't like to hey, kill the cow out on the farm and then just eat it right there like a werewolf. So I actually like to cook it, and then, yeah, you don't need any sauce or anything with steak. Like a really well-made steak has a lot of flavor in it, and it's really good. And I love steak. So y'all can't bully me, cancel me. I don't care. Unfollow me. Don't care one bit. I'm not changing my steak order. But Cooper Flagg came to Dallas, had some steak, met with the Mavs brass and all the stuff. And now he gets ready for the NBA draft coming up on Wednesday. So I want to kind of walk through what his next few weeks are going to look like. And also, what's the relationships that mean the most for him? And then in the last segment on the show, I want to talk about 4 questions I have for the next few weeks. 4 questions I have. Some of it's media related. Some of it is, you'll see it there. But there's 4 questions we don't have the answer to yet. Let's do some family business real quick. Dwight Powell, according to Mark Stein, has picked up his $4 million player option. The legend is back, baby. I mean, I think when you go back to the book of Genesis and you start looking at the garden, and, obviously Adam and Eve is talked about a lot, but somewhere through there, Dwight had a Mavs jersey on. And that's what, after sin entered the world, he kind of, Adam and Eve hid behind a fig leaf, and he put on his Mavs jersey because he's been with the Mavs forever. And he's back. He picked up the option. He's back for now. I mean, obviously they could use that contract to move elsewhere, but they view him. I mean, he is he's rising up the ranks for games played right now for the Mavs. And he is just a pros pro that everybody loves. Everybody in the organization loves. Teammates love him. So I would be shocked if he ever goes elsewhere. I think it's just something where Dwight's going to be here for the long haul. And he's just one of those guys. And he's a great guy to have around. So there's Dwight. And then some people started throwing at me some Chris Paul stuff today. Guys, the Chris Paul thing that was floating around on social media, Eric Pincus does great work at Bleacher Report, different spots, and he just did like a predictions thing, like, hey, 15 free agents and where I'm predicting them to go, and it was just purely like, hey, I think they'll go here, I think they'll go here, I think they'll go here, and he was like, I think Chris Paul will go to the Mavericks. And then somehow that morphed into aggregators saying Dallas expected to sign Chris Paul this offseason. It's like, that's not really what it was. So I would love Chris Paul in Dallas, but I just don't. Some of these random fan accounts and stuff, people were kind of running with that today. I was like, dude, Chris Paul's going to be in Dallas next year. I'm like, what? Halt. Don't hold your breath. So, yes, I would like it, but I don't expect him to be in Dallas. I think he'll go to L.A. Let's talk about Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg comes to Dallas, does this whole thing, and now he's building up for Wednesday night, which will be a massive night for Cooper, right? Like, I mean, he is the crown jewel of this draft class. He is, his sponsors with AT&T. AT&T is already rolling out some things for him on draft night there in New York City. New Balance probably has some things planned for him. It's going to be a lot of Cooper Flagg content, and you know what? Just hook it up to our veins, right? Like, we want it. We want all of it. Give us all the Cooper Flagg content from the Mavs, from the NBA. We love it. His name's going to get called first there on draft night on Wednesday night. He's going to put on the Mavericks draft hat, and it's going to be beautiful and glorious. He's going to do some interviews. When Luka got drafted? Yeah, when Luka got drafted, we did like a phone interview with some of us media and stuff that was there at draft night. I don't know if he'll do the same. We'll see. But I'll be there at the Mavs practice facility that night for some of the media and stuff that's going to cover the draft. Nico Harrison's going to talk that night. First time seeing Nico since I asked him that question. So I'm looking forward to the I'm looking forward to the off-camera conversation with Nico and what that will look like. He might not remember it. Hopefully, maybe. I don't know. So then what's next for Cooper? He gets drafted. He's going to wear the Mavs draft hat. And then I would assume on Friday will be his welcome presser. Could be wrong. It could be Saturday. I don't think that they'll wait until Monday. So you got Wednesday night's the first round. Thursday night is the second round. And then Friday is I would assume, my guess is Friday night or Friday morning. Am I back? Oh, sweet. Let's go. I would assume that Friday morning will be the intro presser for Cooper Flagg. That's my guess. And that's going to be a lot of fun. This is where I am assuming that he's going to wear number 32. And not, obviously he wore 2 at Duke. There's a whole story behind that. You can go look that up. But I think he'll go back to 32 in Dallas. It's open, all the stuff. It's jerseys wore a ton. And I can't wait for that intro presser. I want to hear the questions that we get to ask him. I want to hear Nico Harrison and them talk about him. I want to see how like Nico talks about him in regards to like the timelines and all the stuff of how like Nico's referenced this timeline for so long, and a Kyrie and Anthony Davis, and now you have Cooper Flagg coming in. And I'm fascinated to see the questions and stuff, or how Nico is going to answer those questions. But he's going to hold up the jersey, and then bam, it's Summer League time, baby. And this is where he has a chance to capture some even more hearts in Dallas. Let's take a quick break, and I want to come back and keep going through some timeline stuff. And I want to talk about these relationships, because I think there's some relationships. The order of what relationships are the most important for him is something we'll see if you'll agree with me on. This podcast is brought to you by our good friends at Car Gurus. Shopping for a car should be exciting, not exhausting. Guys, I want to get a truck right now so bad, but it's so much money and the process is just so annoying. Between the confusing prices and hidden fees, it can feel overwhelming. You got that right. That's why I love using Car Gurus. They help you cut through the noise and show you the best deals with full confidence. With over 4 million listings, Car Gurus has more new and used cars than any other major online marketplace in the U.S. They verify dealers, provide real price analysis, and give you the tools and data you need to make the right choice. It's no wonder. Similar web estimated traffic data shows that CarGurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site. Buy or sell your next car today with CarGurus at CarGurus.com. Go to CarGurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's CarGurus.com. CarGurus.com. Cool.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Bam! Intro music or outro music from the ad break. This is going awesome. All right, let's continue talking about Cooper Flagg's next steps. So, Cooper Flagg, the next step for him after that intro presser here in Dallas is going to be Summer League, and I'm assuming he's going to fight like heck to play in Summer League. He should play in Summer League probably, and it will be so much fun just to see him. I mean, he's probably going to be diving on the floor in Summer League and just showing the all-out effort and everything, and yeah, I mean, we can't wait for him to play Summer League. But here's the thing that I was asked today on the subtext about relationships. And it was like, somebody asked through our program, is like, hey, what's the most important relationship for Cooper Flagg? And it really made me start thinking about it because I was like, all right, well, who is? So the question was like, hey, is it Lively? Is it Anthony Davis? Is it Kyrie? And then I just started thinking about it in general. It's like, how would you guys rank the following when it comes to most important relationships for Cooper Flagg? We have the coach, we have the fan base, we have Anthony Davis, Dereck Lively, the media, Nico Harrison, Kyrie Irving. If you had to power rank those guys as far as the most important relationship for Cooper Flagg to get off and start going right now, you know who I think is #1, and this might surprise you some because I get that I feel like Nico is going to be the most popular answer. It's like, hey, you got to get that relationship with Nico right because we've seen what the past star had with Nico and all this stuff. But I think the right answer for me is Kyrie Irving. I think for Kyrie Irving, I think the relationship with Kyrie, because I think it's a no-brainer. Kyrie's going to come back. Dallas loves him. The front office loves him. He is the leader of the team. He was the leader of the team even before Luka got traded. And I think to come in and to form a relationship with Kyrie and the leader of the team, somebody who knows Jason Kidd, somebody who knows Nico Harrison, somebody who knows the fan base, and AD and Lively, someone who's been through media stuff left and right. I think he's the one through all of this that knows the ins and outs of all the other pieces, and he's the leader of the team. That I think that's the most important relationship with him. For him is Kyrie. I don't know if they've met before. They might have met through some Duke connection. I don't think Kyrie was at the Team USA thing that Cooper Flagg took part in. Anthony Davis was. So Davis has obviously met him and has some type of relationship with him. But I think the most important relationship for me is Kyrie Irving. And I wonder when that could start. That first picture of them two together is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, it's crazy that the age difference between those two guys are like 14, 15 years in a way, and how Kyrie, I wonder if Kyrie returns the favor of the kid talk that LeBron used to call Kyrie back in the day. I was like, hey, this kid, I wonder if he'll call Cooper Flagg kid. But so this is how I rank it. Kyrie, Nico second, Jason Kidd third, the fan base fourth, Anthony Davis, Dereck Lively, and then the media. I think, like, I get the Anthony Davis angle. I just think Kyrie's more important than him. And then after that, I think it's Nico and Jason Kidd, because you got to have this strong relationship with Jason Kidd, assuming he's going to be the head coach still. And how to be used, the different systems and all this stuff. Like, I think something that we're going to see this offseason is we're going to see the classic. It's either going to be Nico or Jason Kidd or both is going to do like the travel to meet up with Cooper Flagg, whether they go up to Maine, whether they meet in New York or wherever it is. I think they're going to do the travel to Cooper Flagg thing, and they're going to be like, hey, you know what's closer? Or you know what is closer than Slovenia? New York City or Maine or something like that, because they're used to, flying. And this is what front offices do, right? And coaches, they like to meet up. Rick did this back in the day. Rick flew I think flew himself because, he could fly a plane. I think Rick Carlisle flew to North Carolina to meet up with Dennis Smith and learn more about Dennis and all this stuff. So I expect one of those things to happen, or both of those guys. And and then I have the fan base. The fan base is, man, I wrote this down. I was like, take advantage of the fan base waiting to fall in love again. The fan base, we know everybody listening to this for the most part are Mavs fans probably. And it's like, we're in this like weird spot of, there's a lot of still frustration and your heart broke and everything from the trade. There's a lot of you guys that like to scream online and just say, get over it. Then there's a lot of other guys that say, like to scream online and say, don't you disrespect Luka. And, we never move on from Luka. And it's like, all right, the fan base is kind of split with some of that stuff. But I think the fan base will embrace Cooper Flagg collectively like the star coming to town and take advantage of that fan base. Take advantage of us waiting to fall in love again. And because if there's one thing about this Mavs fan base is they love their stars and they love them hard. Like, because we had the most loyal one for forever in Dirk. Then we obviously had Luka Doncic, and now you get this young Cooper Flagg coming in. And we know how to love a superstar. And I hope that there is imagine what would happen if Cooper's like, I want to do an autograph session in Victory Park, or does some like fan outings in Dallas sometimes over the summer, or after, sometimes, I don't know, leading up to training camp. And it's like, dude, I want to get out in the city. That would just like talking about just capturing the whole fan base in the city's heart from the very beginning. I don't expect it. I'm just saying, I wonder if there's different opportunities that they look to go into that. So then obviously you have summer league, and then it's kind of nothing until training camp in late September, where we have the first, media day at the end of September. So in between there, what's the Cooper Flagg stuff that we get? What are the workout videos that we all rave about? What are the pictures of like him and Kyrie somewhere meeting for the first time? Or it's him and Lively working out in the practice facility and everybody's just raving, and it's some tagline on social. And it's like the brotherhood is working. It's him and Lively and Kyrie, the Duke brotherhood. It's Cooper and Jason Kidd in his backwards flat bill up at a lighthouse in Maine somewhere on the coast, and it's him and his family and stuff. This is the type of content that I want this offseason in between the draft or that presser conference, summer league, and September. We can't get radio silence, right? We need to hook it up. All right. Hook it up to the veins. We need all the Flagg content. So this next thing I want to throw out there is the questions that I have, because I legitimately have some questions of what for Cooper Flagg and Dallas, what's going to happen at the intro presser or in the weeks coming after that. These are 4 questions that we don't have the answer for yet. The number one thing, how much does Cooper Flagg willingly help the Mavs fix their image? How much do they willingly help it? Because think about it. If you are Rick Welts, Nico Harrison, Patrick Dumont, everyone running the Mavs, you know what these past 6 months, this past year has been like. You have been getting knockout punch after knockout punch thrown at you from every angle, from media, from fans, and all the stuff. You know what? You want to just ride for every ounce in the gas can that you can possibly have is the Cooper Flagg hype wave. And this is where the image for the Mavs could start to restore for some people's hearts whenever it's like, oh, I'm still bitter, but I love this Cooper Flagg kid. And Summer League's going to help. All the hype after the draft is going to be amazing and help and stuff. I get that. But how how much of the extra stuff that the Mavericks might want him to do, how much is he willing to step into it? How much is him sitting there at the table saying, hey, I know that we're kind of in a tough spot right now, fan base was. I want to do everything I can to reshift that focus back to basketball and all the stuff, and I will do any of the extra stuff. I think it's I think it's unfair to put it all on Cooper. It's kind of not right, because it's kind of like the interviews and stuff that's happened over the past few weeks. It's like, oh, we won the lottery and look how much changed. And like, all right, it doesn't erase everything that's happened. But I wonder how much does he help the Mavs fix their image? How much of the extra stuff, how much of the community stuff does he get out and do to get just publicity and different stuff in the city, different appearances at things, different interviews? Do they try to get him local media interviews on radios and podcasts and written stories and all the stuff? Do they try to get all of the cycles going and stuff in Dallas to just generate more and more hype? And is he willing to do all of that? Is he willing to? He just wants to play basketball, right? As an 18-year-old kid, it might be hard to does he want that right now? It's kind of a lot of pressure, I think, for him. And I'm just wondering what that's going to be, the push and pull of that. And if he's willing and wanting to do all of that. Let's take another quick break and then we'll be right back, because I got 3 more questions, and then I'll mention one thing about Jrue Holiday at the very end. This podcast is brought to you by our good friends at Wayfair. Wayfair. There's nothing like stepping into your own outdoor space and feeling like you've escaped to a personal oasis. If you are wanting to upgrade your patio this season, Wayfair has made it so easy to turn a space into feeling like yours, comfortable, stylish, ready for the summer. Guys, the summer is so hot, but it's so nice to have like an umbrella on the back porch. That's what you gotta lock in and get one of these things. Wayfair has everything you need to level up your outdoor space. Conversational sets, outdoor bars, fire pits, hot tubs, gazebos, and yes, even the perfect string lights. I've hung a few string lights in my lifetime. Dang, I feel like I gotta go to Wayfair right now. I gotta touch up the outside. I can't show my wife this right now. Don't wait. Make your outdoor space your dream oasis today with Wayfair. Enjoy it all summer long. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop a huge outdoor selection. That's why it is WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Bomb. Enter music again. Guys, here's the thing. I have the soundboard. It is in my possession. I'm looking at it right here. It's not hooked up because I'm having some issues with it. Nick can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. Some interference stuff, and it's driving me insane. I've spent hours on this thing. One day though, I'm going to have all the sound bites and drops and stuff, and it's going to throw you guys all for a loop. I'm excited for it, but it's going to be a bit until I figure it out. I'm sure one of you guys will reach out, and I will take all the advice that we can get right now. Second question I have for after Cooper Flagg gets drafted: how does he talk about Luka in the trade? He's going to get asked about it in any type of interview. Probably he does. It's unfortunate. I hate it. It's kind of what Anthony Davis has went through, and Cooper Flagg didn't even have anything to do with the trade, but he's probably going to get asked about it, right? About Luka, about, hey, now you're coming to a place where they traded their star. How confident are you? Where were you at when the Luka trade happened? What did you think? What do you think about Luka? Like, there are going to be questions about that, and I'm fascinated to see how he answers it and how he talks about the trade and all the stuff. I think it's going to be something super professional of like, Luka's a once lifetime player, blah, blah, blah type of thing. But that's just, we don't know yet. We don't know until that happens, that he's next to Nico or Jason Kidd, whoever it is, talking about Luka Doncic in that trade. Next question. How does Nico talk about Flagg as a centerpiece, but also with Kyrie and AD? This is one of the top things I'm ready to hear Nico Harrison talk about, because we have heard him talk about Anthony Davis as this cornerstone alpha piece he got back. He sought after for the Luka Doncic trade. We've heard him talk about Kyrie Irving as the leader of the team and bringing him back and all the stuff. We are win now. We're going for the championship. all this stuff. We got Klay Thompson. We have all this experience. And then bam, number 1 overall pick in Cooper Flagg. How does he address the, hey, there's going to be so much hype around Cooper Flagg coming in. How does he address does he say it's Luka? And Luka, how many times are we going to do this? Does he say that it's Cooper's team? Does he say that, hey, we're building around Luka? God bless. Oh my gosh. Why can I not say this right? Does he say that we're building around Cooper? Does he say that Cooper's the future? How does he talk about, does he talk about 2 timelines? Does he say, I feel like he's going to lean into hey, Cooper helps us win now. He's, an incredible talent from day one, all this stuff. But at some point he's going to address the future and stuff too. So I'm fascinated to see how Nico talks about that, of Cooper Flagg as this young cornerstone of the franchise for hopefully the next decade versus, hey, you just got Anthony Davis, re-signing Kyrie, you have Klay and these win now pieces too. They can still be win now, but how does the franchise overall, I want to see how he talks about that. And then the last question I have is how does the PR strategy from the Mavs change? Has it changed at all since the last time that they spoke with the media? The last time that Nico talked with the media, it was, we were all in the room. That was a week after the secret roundtable invite only type thing that accomplished really nothing and almost kind of just made it worse. But then he took questions and stuff from a lot of us media. That's when I asked him about the firing question and all of that. Has anything changed since then? Do we see any shift of tone? Do we see any shift of messaging? Do we see any shift in, acknowledgement of losing trust in fans and all this stuff and wanting to build some of that back? What do we see? Has anything changed with PR messaging from Nico and the front office there? Those are 4 questions that I'm ready to see how those are answered over the next coming weeks. I want to say this real quick. So Jrue Holiday trades. We talked about Jrue Holiday yesterday. Jake Fisher, who does great work with Mark Stein on Mark Stein's Substack. He was doing a Bleacher Report live Q&A. We talked about on yesterday's podcast about how the Mavericks are one of the 2 teams that have been interested in Jrue Holiday. Nick and myself are both kind of too rich for us. He's kind of older, wasn't as productive last year, but love him. He's a great player. He would fit well here, but just the contract, I'm just not a big fan of it. I will say CBA Mavs had a tweet today that at least raised my eyebrows of a possible structure of a Jrue Holiday trade that I was like, okay, I'm listening. So basically, go look at the tweet. But basically, it was there's some moving parts in here. But it was a Caleb Martin goes to Boston, Jaden Hardy goes to Brooklyn, Daniel Gafford goes to Atlanta into Atlanta's trade exception. You get Atlanta's 22nd pick. Boston attaches their first round pick towards the end of the first round there to get off of Jrue's contract. So you're getting two first rounders back in that deal. Both of them in their 20s, so you could either keep them or punt them somewhere else. I think he had the 32nd pick coming to Dallas and stuff too. Basically, it's he had a way in which you could bring in Jrue, get two first round picks, a second round pick, while also keeping PJ and Klay. And the only players going out is Gafford, Omax, Martin, and Jaden Hardy. I'm thinking about that, right? You're having the phone call about it, right? You're getting Jrue the player. Yes, it's the contract and all that stuff, but you're also getting a couple first and a high second in that, while keeping some key players in it. I'm thinking about it. That's a CBA Mavs. Great. I mean, he does a great job anyway on Twitter, but great job of that trade. I didn't think there was one that would make me think about it, and that one made me think about it for a bit. All right. That's it. We'll be back tomorrow. Sorry if some of my video and audio and stuff was off. We're having some issues the past 2 days on this software program that we're using, so we're working on it. So bear with us and all of that. We'll be back tomorrow because we're draft dashing all the way until the NBA draft and beyond that. So be on the lookout for a Sunday pod